Ever since I was a kid, like, people would ask me what my favorite color was, and I'd be like, black. And they'd always be like, yo, you're cheating. But, I mean, even to this day, it's all black everything. Black shirt, black pants, black shoes, black car, black rim, all black everything, every day, man.
Whoa, yeah, swear to God, I'm with it. I don't see nobody in my lane that's quite go get it like me. Whoa, please don't be wasting my time with that business. Who you kidding, man? Yeah. Whoa, please don't be wasting my time.
Hi guys, Cam from Brown Davis Automotive. We're over here in our motorsport workshop because we thought we'd give you a walkthrough our brand new Hilux. For over a decade now, I've owned different utes, dual cabs mainly, that we've built and taken touring, been all around Australia, up north, over to the Kimberley. And this here is probably what I feel is my ultimate setup for a small ute. It's got everything I need to go away, whether it's just for a weekend or whether it's a long trip. We've set it up that it can pretty much be as versatile as possible. We'll have a walkthrough, go through a few of the products. Round here at the front, TJ and Bull Bar. We use TJ and Bull Bars on all our vehicles, whether it's our 70 series, 200 series. The main reason I love them personally, all made of steel, no plastic bumpers or rubber bumpers on the front. And I think color coded to whatever color your vehicle is, they look better than the standard bumper. And that's one thing that I find really great with them. In the TJ and Bull Bar as well, TJ and winch, never ever had a problem. That's actually the winch off the old car. That's one thing you can, when you want to keep a product and just move it onto another car, you know it's good, you know it's lasted. Never had a problem with it. As you can see on this vehicle, we've got the light force lights right across the front. Spotlights here at the front. Yes, the covers are on there at the moment, but they're the HID mixed with the LED. Awesome, been wrapped to them. So I find the LED, seeing the whole road, unbelievable, but you still do get that distance views. Coming around over here, GME radio and aerial. We've got GME on pretty much most of our cars. There's actually a 30-year-old GME, maybe 20-year-old GME radio on the 60. Things still absolutely perfect. There's no reason to change. Stick to something good. Coming around the side, Msa Mirrors. We do a lot of towing with all our vehicles, especially with the car trailers and stuff, towing a lot of our motorsport vehicles. And the viewing at the back is one thing that becomes a killer, especially with some of our larger, big transporters. These Msa mirrors make things so much easier. They look great to me, and that's one thing that was pretty big for me. I wanted them to look nice. I didn't want a huge, big ears sticking off the side of the car. Could not recommend them more. They work with pretty much the whole electronics of the vehicle, which is another thing that's awesome. So wrapped with them. Around the side, this is probably where this has changed over as I said, the more than a decade of owning utes. I've gone with the Rhino rack, Pioneer rack. We've never ever had that before. The reason we did it is its versatility. You can mount anything to it. It also has been great for us because it also means we can manufacture and fabricate our own things to suit it. And there's a variety of different mounting locations. Love the Pioneer rack. There's actually two, one on the cabin and one on the canopy. It works well having two different racks, and they've almost got any size you need for your car. Awning, I've had all different awnings from 2 metre pull-outs, 2.5 metre pull-outs, and by far the best thing I ever did was upgraded to a Batwing awning. The thing goes right around the back, and for people that own utes or want to own utes, the back is the prime location. With a tailgate, you can set up cookers, you can set up, make lunch, or even just sit and have a beer watching a game of footy. On the back, Carryboy canopies. In my opinion, the best canopy out there. They look the best. The fiberglass and the way they do it means that you can store 100 kilos on top with no dirty, ugly frame inside. The other thing, which I'll take you around the back and show you later, all carpeted inside, because I want to throw everything in there, my dogs, clothes, everything. And I like the fact that it feels almost like a wagon, but it's a canopy. The lift up and shut windows, brilliant. And especially for me, I have got wheels on the back and other things, so I love the fact that quick access to the side, throw my rods in, throw my stuff in. The other thing they've done and developed now is that it's all central locking. So you walk away from your car, press lock. Coming around to the back, This is something that my whole family can say that they've used. My old man's been using them, I would say, for at least probably 40 years. Kmart rear bars, to me, there's nothing better. They're a product that by far outdoes anyone else. They work well every time, all the time. Another product which we've actually taken off our old Hilux, it fitted on the brand new model. We could fit it straight on, bit of paint, she looks unreal. So definitely highly recommend this. All right, we'll open up the back and give you a look inside. So as you can see, giving you a bit better view of the Kmart rear bar. The thing matches the car perfectly, and you might have seen down the side, it's got sill protection as well. So that gives you, especially with some of the utes, they've got a bit of overhang. That's another great thing. In here, it's real simple. There's nothing in there, as you can tell. I don't run anything extravagant. I chuck my fridge in one side, and I've literally made my own floor with a little bit of carpet. Easy to do, and some tie down points for tying down stuff. So I put my fridge on one side, tie it in, and I put a space case with whether it's cooking gear, safety gear, matches, paper, toilet roll, all the stuff. I just chuck that in one side and just strap all the stuff down. This is something that I only got introduced to the last few weeks. Tailmate. Look into this if you have a dual cab. The Hilux did not come with a tub liner, and other than the fact I'd put this on about day 1 or 2, I already had scratched and scuffed my tailgate until this went on. It is literally the simplest thing, and you can buy this stuff online. Some you have to remove some components, but you literally just screw it straight into the standard captives on your tailgate. The fact that it also protects the top of the tailgate, anyone that owns a dual cab and has for years, I had little dints from different things over time, and this thing is just transformed the way I look at the rear of the car. I'd highly recommend jumping on their website, have a look at them. I think that's enough about the back. I'll take you around the side and show you a few more bits and pieces we've bolted on the car. Around here, quick note on the Pioneer rack, we have got a high lift jack on the car, and as I said earlier, they've got heaps of different mounts to mount anything you want. You bolt them straight on, real easy stuff. It's great for that. Also Max Tracks on the other side. Max Tracks we've had on all our vehicles, and to be honest, they are one of those things that it's great now that you can just put them on the roof rack and you don't have to touch them, they just sit there, but it's the time that you need them. Much like a winch, it sits there. 99% of the time you'll never need it, but when you do, you want it there and you want to know it's going to work. This side's a good view to see how we did the Pioneer platforms. Front one with the Rhino Rack backbone to suit the Hilux. I love it, it looks sleek. Can't speak highly enough about the backbone system. I think they, transformed and were the original of that sort of style of system. Long here on the side steps, always had them, got them on all our vehicles. The standard ones tend to hang down a lot lower, also normally plastic or aluminium. And I can tell you firsthand, they're one of the first things you'll tend to rip off your car because they do sit lower than the chassis. It's what sits down right in the middle of your vehicle that's normally going to be the thing coming off. So side steps are a must. Safari Snorkels, they've been around almost as long as us. And once again, I think a real testament to a good quality product is a product that you're still fitting 40 years later. With their snorkels, one thing I've known since I was a boy, and it's funny now seeing cars like our 60 that have Safari snorkels on, which would have to be 20, 30 years old. They don't fade. You give them a clean and they come up looking as good as the day you bought them 10, 15 years later. I've been around enough four-wheel drives with other snorkels that is not the case with all snorkels. These guys now not only make their snorkels, which they're renowned for, but they're now introducing a whole new range of products for mainly Toyotas, 79 series and the 200s. Their engineering and the performance and stuff they do is second to none. Down here, funny story, my old man was definitely not a Cooper's guy. He ran a different brand of tyre. He was set on it, stubborn, and said he would never ever use another brand of tyre. We did a trip across the Kimberley, which Cooper were involved in, and they put Cooper tyres on, back then was a brand new PX Ranger. We crossed the Kimberley with a convoy of about 10 vehicles, and still to this day, I've got 6 of them on this car, 6 on another car outside, 5 on the 40. Never had a puncher, never had a single problem with a Cooper tyre, and amazingly, even the old man has them now in his 200 series, which to us shows and proves to me that they are the benchmark. I like the look of the AT3. The sidewall makes it look aggressive, but it's very much an all-terrain tread. The reason being that unfortunately, day to day, I spend 95% of the time driving on normal roads. So the safety wise, they get unbelievable grip and also get unbelievable mileage. Definitely converted, which is pretty crazy to say. So love the Cooper tyres. So we've got a few more goodies under the bonnet and under the car. What we're gonna do, I'll put this car on the hoist, we'll lift her up, have a look underneath at all the stuff that you don't see, and also pop the bonnet, have a look what's under there.
Yeah, swear to God, I'm with it. I don't see nobody in my lane that's quite go get it like me. Whoa. Please don't be wasting my time with that business. Who you kidding, man? Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, swear to God, I'm with it. I don't see nobody in my lane that's quite go get it like me. Whoa. Please don't be wasting my time with that business. Who you kidding, man? Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, swear to God, I'm with it. I don't see nobody in my lane that's quite go get it like me. Whoa.
Suspension wise, we've got a 50mm lift from EFS now. For starters, the only thing I'll say to you is it is a 50mm lift. When we did put this on with nothing else on the vehicle, it lifted the vehicle 50mm. What does happen with all your suspension is that it does slowly, with the extra weight of bull bars and other things, it does drop slightly. So I would say we've got about a 35mm lift in this car, but it's exactly what we wanted. What we've installed on here is everything gets replaced. Hanger, spring, shock, they send you the works, and you know that at least when you are installing the gear, you know that everything is a step better than what you're taking out. We were looking for comfort. Now, when I say comfort, keep in mind this is not a 200 series. This is a leaf sprung vehicle, and it's designed to be able to carry no load and 1,000 kilos. So it's a huge amount of things that we're asking from these cars. We have always worked with EFS and love the way EFS work with us to make sure we get suspension that suits us. And that's nothing that we get special out of them. That's what they do for everyone. So when you ring them and you say, I've got a Kmart rear bar, I've got that weight, and I've got the leverage of 2 big spares hanging over the rear, they work you through and tell you what suspension is going to be best for you. In this new Hilux, they've sent us some different in suspension, which I've found is significantly better than what I did have. And that's just a matter of, we went through the weights better and understood what I needed for the application. Look, as I said to you, in my opinion, I don't go too overboard with suspension. What EFS has set up for me is just the best value, but also not at all stepping away from quality and reliability when you're off-road. We've found this stuff invincible. We've driven all our cars everywhere, and you know, the corrugations of the Kimberley will pretty quickly figure out what suspension's good or bad. We've never had to replace or do anything to EFS, so never had a reason to swap it. One of the things I find when I'm picking crucial components like suspension is I do like the fact that it's a company that has been around like us for a long, long time. That to me always cements the fact that you don't do something bad for 40 years and keep doing it. And so it's a testament to them. So we really stick with their stuff and know that when you do go off-road, you can hit the pars, you can hit whatever you're doing, and things aren't just going to break on you. Brown Davis underbody protection. This stuff to me is the best insurance you can get for your four-wheel drive. 3mm steel. We always get a lot of questions, people asking, why 3mm steel? Why don't you put 4mm or 5mm? The thing is with underbody protection, this is something we've learnt over the 30 years that we've been making this stuff, you've got to allow your car to take the impact. If you go too thick, you'll tear mounting points or you will bend your car. So you need to be able to have some absorption in the plate. These lower bolt points, we actually keep them flush mounted, so they're actually up inside the guard so that you don't knock the end of the bolt head off. Even small things like folds and other components into the guards, and that's just to stiffen them, give them more and more structure to give that extra strength for you. Back here you can see this third guard comes right back behind the transmission, gives you all the protection front to back, and then right here at the back the transfer case. And then you've even got on the Hilux a four-wheel drive actuator, and that's all protected. It's not so much just the large impacts, it's a small impact, whether that's a small stick that tears a hose or you know, a small amount of stones that fly up and crack your four-wheel drive actuator. That type of thing can ruin a trip, even though it can be caused by something quite small. Moving down the vehicle, the tank is 150 litres. So the standard car, don't quote me exactly, but is about 75 litres. So the fact that you can unbolt one, double your fuel capacity with another tank, to me, it's a no-brainer. The new model Utes has transformed long-range tank manufacturing, really. The days of a significant amount of auxiliaries, secondary tanks, special pumps, is really, it's still there, by all means it's still there, and especially in some of the popular dual cabs and 79s and things like that. But by far the biggest game changer has been the fact that everyone's buying the small dual cab, you know, Triton, Navara, Hilux, Ford Rangers. No removal of spare wheel. The tank bolts straight in the location of the standard tank, utilises your standard sender, so you're not playing with anything. You're not affecting vehicle warranties. You unbolt one, and in about 2 hours, you bolt in another. It's at the standard height as a standard tank, and that's a big one that we try to do on all our tanks, is keep them so that your car doesn't lose its capabilities. You don't buy a four-wheel drive to put a tank in it and lose capabilities. You buy the four-wheel drive, put the tank in to get to the places where you know the tracks are going to be a bit rough. You can see that the approach angle here is brilliant for the car, and we did go through that earlier, that it's what's sitting in the middle of the car that's going to cop, you know, the rut outs in the high country as you're ducking up hills and things like that. I can pick when I fill up, and when you go off-road, it's stress-free. There's nothing worse than that sinking feeling in your stomach thinking you're running out of fuel. Another thing under here, as you can see, coming from the front to the back, is the shiny Torqued exhaust. All stainless steel. It's the only exhaust I'd put under a car, especially when you go hit some salt and other things. I think you have to go stainless, and the exhaust is exposed the whole way down, so you don't want the thing deteriorating. Torqued stuff, and from another steel manufacturer, someone that sees a lot of welding and a lot of components that are fabricated, the quality in all their welds and the way they're put together is unbelievable. The things look great. The Hilux, what I did notice with the exhaust, when you did put your foot down, the response you get from the car is different. It does help the car breathe. It does help the car react to when you're wanting to drive it, and maybe drive it a bit harder than usual. And this suited my application perfectly. Like under the vehicle, under the bonnet, is where a lot of crucial components and a lot of the stuff that helps best on a trip is tucked away. I've always been a big fan of products that tuck up under the way. Maybe that's because I'm a tank guy and nothing's on display, or underbody protection's nothing on display, but I like things clean. The switches inside the car, the way everything on here tucks in. Dual battery, we now do a dual battery tray for the Hilux, which sits underneath the bonnet. I like the idea of it being underneath the bonnet. I want all the space I can get in the tray and in and around the vehicle, so having the second battery under the bonnet to me was just a no-brainer. When it came to charging the batteries, making sure that you could go that week and not be stressing over running out of power, we went with the guys at Red Arc. We've dealt with Red Arc a little while now, fitted a lot of their stuff to all our different vehicles, including some of the old girls that you can see behind us. And the reliability, the fact that you know that everything's looked after to us is perfect. Now you don't just order the Red Arc charger, but you can get a vehicle-specific mounting bracket. And the good thing is that it puts the charger in a location that keeps it at the best temperature to give you the most charge possible. Red Arc, you never have to get to it. You install it, it just runs, and it just does it.
See your reason they should be hating the way that I'm making a way. Whoa, yeah, swear to God I'm with it. I don't see nobody in my lane that's quite go get it like me. Whoa, please don't be wasting my time with that business. Who are you kidding,